Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. It's Cass. Today we're going to be doing an exciting video as per usual, but before we get started, if this is your first time here, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, tippity tap the bell so that way you'll get notifications, and also drop a comment down below to say hello. If you're returning, thanks for coming back this week. This week we're doing an exciting video like I said before, and it is hair related. You guys are going to get to see me make a wig from the beginning until the end, which is this final product. Shout out to True Glory for partnering with me on this video this week so that way you guys are able to see their bundles in action. I'll give you guys some tips at the end for things that I found helpful while also doing that method. So yeah, we're gonna just jump right into the video and I will see you guys at the end of it. Alrighty guys, so I just wanted to do a little bit of talking in this video just to kind of explain what's going on because it is sped up quite a bit so that the video wouldn't be too long. This was over like 4 hours of footage, so I wanted to cut it down to a reasonable amount of time. But right now all you see me doing is showing you my little markings. So I just used a Sharpie and I'm just pulling the cap down in the back and using my T-pins to make sure it is laying exactly on top of those marks. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the frontal just a little bit. I'm trying to measure the middle of it is what you see me doing. This ended up backfiring for some reason. I wasn't paying attention and I ended up sewing the frontal on lopsided, which I now realize instead of taking the whole thing down, I could have simply shifted the cap over, but I was in distress and that was just the first thing I did was just start snipping all of the sewing that I did. So when I do sew my frontal on, guys, I like to start from the middle and sew each side down separately. I do it that way just because so I don't have any issues and I'm able to hold it taut on each side. I used to sew my frontal from one end to the next and I used to have a lot of lumps in it, so it's easier to get it nice and flat this way. The stitching method that I'm using, I'm literally just poking the needle through and I'm making sure that I'm looping it, so I'm pulling it in between the thread and I'm locking it in, if you get that. I'm pretty much using that same stitching pattern for everything, including when I sew the bundles down. There were some times where I sewed the bundle and I kind of got lazy and I would just wrap it around and not pull it through the loop. I find that that is also extremely secure too. So if you're not in the mood to loop every single time, then you can still just do the little wraparound method and it'll be good. Alright guys, so by this time I had already sewn the 24-inch bundle on and now I'm moving on to the 22-inch. I am leaving them double wefted. They stay stuck together, which is really good for if you don't want to separate them. So that was really awesome. I just put the T-pin in and then I just drape the hair on top of it. That way I can hold it and it keeps it straight. I know some people say to sometimes curve the weft going upwards, like basically like an upside down U, but I've tried that before and it's never worked for me, so I just stitch straight across. This is kind of where you can see where I got lazy. So I did a few loops and then I did the simple wraparound method. That's really easy. And then I would go ahead and loop it again and lock it in. You can do a loop and lock it in and then do your lazy stitch and then loop and lock it in and then do some more lazy stitches. As long as you're locking it in at some place, I think you'll be fine. As you can see, I just had that small little space left at the top and I didn't want to pack a whole bunch of hair in there because I could have probably gotten 2 rows with the 20-inch. but I decided to give my cap a little bit more stretch. I was just going to sew it right at the top and just basically cover that little spot. You don't want to put too much hair onto your cap because then it'll just continue to shrink the cap, and then sometimes it can end up making your wig a little too small. I've noticed that when I've made wigs in the past, so I try to put a little bit of space in between each weft so that way you still have some elasticity in your wig. This is where I had completely soaked the wig because I was getting ready to pluck, baby, okay? Umbrella Academy had me hooked, but I was ready to go. The hair that I just showed you right there, that was some shedding, but obviously that was from where I cut the wefts and, you know, folding over and all of that stuff. So that's the only shedding that I've gotten from that hair. The hair has not shed since. I like to completely soak my units when I pluck them because it's easier to see the hair. But as you can see, I was really like, wow, do I really need to do that? It looked so good on the mannequin. Like, this is literally just with the bleaching process done to it. I hadn't even tinted my lace yet. All right, guys, we made it to the styling portion. I'm going to crimp the hair a little bit and show you guys how I do it. I'm just using some Got To Be Freeze hairspray, and then I'm using my crimper. This one is from Bedhead. I think it's made by Bedhead. I'll leave the link down below. I got this from Target last year around this time. I actually was doing my hair the exact same way last year. I did crimps and they failed miserably, and I haven't done them since, but I really want to do crimps. So I watched a few YouTube videos and got it together, and they actually came out so nice this time. So that was exciting. The hair is also extremely soft, so I didn't feel the need to like blow dry and straighten the hair before I crimped it. I was able to just comb through the natural pattern, which by the way is super pretty. It's like nice beach waves, but I was able to just comb through that and then just hairspray and just start immediately using the crimper. So I'm just putting a little bit of mousse, guys, and then I'm going to just run the hot comb real quick just to get it to lay flat before I start crimping it. Alright guys, and this was the finished product. I'm telling you, I let this sit overnight and I was just looking at it all night like, wow, I really did this, y'all. I really made a wig and it came out nice and it's laid. Oh, beautiful. Alright guys, we finally made it to the fun part of the video. If you made it this far and you've been still watching, give me a thumbs up and also, you know, drop a little comment down below. So I'm just cutting off the air tabs and making sure that I'm not cutting off too much hair, but also that it's not too snug around my ears because that tends to give me a headache, I noticed. So I was really trying to make sure I cut the exact amount that needed to be gone to make my wig lay. out. We're gonna try it out. Just letting you know now, don't do like me. You should definitely spray the hairspray onto your skin with this method. If I had already cut my lace, I would have done it exactly how you see me doing it now. That works really well for me. I just spray into the hairline. I just pull some of the hair forward like I'm doing baby hairs, even though I'm not, and I'm able to lay my wigs that way. But something about the lace being on there, it's almost like all the lace soaked up all of the product, so it wasn't sticking. So definitely next time I would spray it onto my actual forehead first and then let it dry and get tacky and then press down the lace. I always use my blow dryer on cool heat. You'll see it turn red, and I was using some heat in those moments, but absolutely always, whenever you can, use the cool setting. So this is when I got the razor, guys, and I went to snipping the lace. I actually do like this method. It was a little choppy, and then when I went in with the scissors, it made it a little bit too precise. So I still have to work on this method because I find with the razor that it leaves a lot of the lace on. And so when I go back with the scissors, it's just really too precise. So it still looks kind of wiggy. So I had to do like some zigzags, and I'm still kind of perfecting the lace right now as we speak. Even though it looked really good in the video, there's still just a few pieces that don't really need to be there. So I've been watching a lot of like IG videos on how girls been laying their frontals, and I love watching them. So I tried to do this new baby hair trick where you just pull out 4 pieces, 2 on each side, and then you just cut them and then you swoop. And it worked, but I also took out way too much hair. I just thought if I didn't pull out enough, it would look weird if it was just a small portion of hair. But obviously, especially on this last piece right here, I took out way too much hair. And I didn't realize it until, like, I was questioning it, but I still cut it, which was a 0 mistake. But I didn't cut it too short, so it doesn't bother me that much because I always push my hair back with mousse anyway, so it's not bothersome. But I definitely snipped off way too much, and I definitely pulled out way too much hair. So I left my scarf on for about 15 minutes and I just let my hair dry, and then I'm able to kind of use the molding that the mousse did, but also unmold it and just, you know, just play around with the hair until it looks how I would like it to look. All right, guys, we made it. We're here. Okay. I highly suggest getting a fabric foam head instead of just the foam head, or a fabric mannequin head instead of the foam mannequin head, just because it's a lot bigger on the headspace and it's just easier for you to measure it, and you don't have to like tape on and add. Like, I got my mannequin head from Aliexpress. I'll link that video down below for my wig essentials from Aliexpress, and I was able to get like the 22-inch one, which really helps my head. So what I would say, things that I would change with the way that I did the method, which Miss Roshposh said to do, I would have advanced my frontal a little bit more past the wig cap, just a smidge more, just because I had to actually pull my wig a little bit more forward. And also I didn't get to use as much of the 20-inch bundle as I wanted to. So I technically have like 2 bundles and a pinch of a 20-inch bundle instead of like 2.5 bundles, which would have given me a little bit more fullness, which technically I do not need. The hair is very full right now, so if I would have used that much hair, I probably would have been like, the regret would have been quite intense. This hair is top tier. I remember hearing about True Glory. Honestly, True Glory is one of the first hair companies I've ever heard of. They were the first place that you could go and physically see the bundles, touch them, feel them, see the inches, and be like, okay, I want to get these 2 bundles and go, versus ordering online how we do today. So they've been in the game for quite a bit. So I was really excited when they reached out to work with me. Like I said, these are keratin infused bundles, and baby, you can feel the keratin smoothness, okay? Literally, they were so soft when I was making the wig, and I hadn't even washed the hair yet, but I knew from the frontal that this was gonna be some good hair because I bleached it. It took bleach very well. Then I noticed that it was pre-plucked, but pre-plucked well. Like, it wasn't just plucked along the front and then really thick. The density kind of went down into the frontal, which was really exciting. It wasn't just dense completely. It was like, you see my hand motion. That's how she shimmied on down to the denseness. So I realized when I actually put that wig on my head at the end that maybe I shouldn't pluck, because that actually diminishes the life of your wig. So I don't like to pluck too much, as you guys know, because I'm not a pro at that either. But once I saw it sitting, I said, wait a minute, do I even need to do much? So I actually did not pluck any hair from this, and honestly, she looks, I think we can all say she looks fabulous. I think she's lifting over here, but we're not gonna mind that. But girl, look at that. Overall, guys, I really love this. I'm excited that I made this wig because I feel like I'm getting better at it. So, you know, maybe I can oversee people and help them make a wig. You know what I mean? But as far as like me making you one, it's gonna be a hot minute before we see any of that. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next video, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions for stuff that I may have skipped, or, you know, if it didn't make sense in the video, please drop that down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.